I received an email from Scott, and he's been working diligently on improving his overall strength. And he wanted to know, how can he quantifiably validate that he's getting stronger? And I wanted to pose an extra element. How do you know you're getting stronger both physically and mentally? After speaking with him for just a little bit of time, he recognized that he's not had a checks and balances where he, on a regular cadence, is looking at evaluating his strength. Now, depending on how new you are to health and performance, most people think of strength as the ability to lift load. Well, I want to add another dynamic to what is your perception of strength. Because if you're in a sport that requires getting up to speed quickly and sustaining that, that's a different kind of strength than doing a 1-rep maximum assessment of can you move more load in a very short period of time. Now, depending on what's important to you, obviously what your sport or athletic activity is, how do you know that the work you're putting in is actually paying off? And this is where we start to get down into a completely different level of looking at strength. A couple of weeks ago, I put a video out talking about the 4 pillars of success. And the first pillar that we spoke about was that of preparation. So when we get to, am I getting stronger? I actually reverse the conversation and I go back and ask, every time you're going to the gym to get stronger, if you're a cyclist and you're doing seated hill repeats or you're doing low cadence tensile intervals, if you're a runner and you're doing uphill repeats, every sport has its own unique challenge for evaluating and improving strength. My question to you, coming back to pillar number 1, is what are you doing to make sure that you're fed, rested, hydrated, and focused before that strength workout? Because the question is, how do I know I'm stronger? And before we can ask, are you stronger, we have to ask, are you constantly prepared before you even begin? Because what I don't want to see you do is put in the effort and have it be undermined without having the necessary elements to get the most out of that workout. I've spoken about this in previous videos. When you're in the gym working out, that workout area that you're in needs to be super cold. If you know anything about motors, you know that heat robs motors of energy, robs the motor of power. Well, it does the same thing to the human body. If you put the body into an executive decision to worry about dying of a heat stroke or lifting weight, it's always going to suppress lifting weight because it's only worried about not dying of a heat stroke. That's called the hierarchy of needs. So when you're in the gym and you want to work on strength, make sure that the room is nice and cold where your body will focus on the strength workout. This goes back to the preparation side. Are you fed? Are you rested? Are you hydrated? And are you focused what you're there to do? Now, how do we evaluate strength? Well, there's a couple ways. Obviously, if you're doing bicep curls and you're doing 3 sets of 10, if a month ago you were doing that with 30 pounds and you multiply the weight by the number of reps completed and now you're doing 40 pounds and you're doing the same amount of reps, you know that you're stronger. I don't mean for that to sound insulting in any way, but you would be surprised how many people I ask, how much has your overall strength improved in the last 6 weeks? Very rarely can I get somebody that will give me an actual percentage. Now, it's way beyond the scope of this conversation, but with all my clients, we have a health and a performance report card. They should know what their percentage of improvement is. Muscle group by muscle group, cumulatively head to toe. When you take it into a sport-specific environment, we look at strength to weight ratios. Are you faster at a lower heart rate? That's a sign of strength and aerobic capacity. I could go through all the analytics. My question to you today is, how do you know that you're getting stronger? You've got to have a way to quantify it. Do it by muscle group, do it by upper body, do it by lower body, and then do it by overall. Put it to your sport. Now, if you're somebody who just is into bodybuilding, I understand that. Keep it in your environment, right? But if you're using strength training as a cross-training component to be faster, have better endurance, better biomechanics, better agility, all that goes with it, make sure that you take your strength evaluation to your sport of choice. We have very, very specific analysis that we use for every single sport that we're involved in, because at the end of the day, when you get ready to start your activity, I need to make sure that you're confident. There is no measurement device inside your brain or your chest that says, yep, you're confident, you're ready to perform to your ultimate capabilities. But if you've got quantification and you can see that improvement, you come to the starting line, you come to the start of that game, you know that you're as prepared as you possibly can. That's why I always challenge you, and I even said at the beginning of this video, how do I know that you're both mentally and physically stronger? It's because I need to almost test you on it on a daily basis. That's why we say to my athletes, if you don't start today's workout with a clear understanding, you notice I said fed, rested, hydrated, and focused. If you're not focused, you will not improve. If you're going to dedicate the time and the energy, make sure that you're measuring quantifiably your level of improvement. Now your mental confidence matches your physical improvement. Now you've just elevated your game. So I hope that answers the question, how do I know I'm getting stronger? It's not just on quantification of load lifted. It's about taking it to your sport of choice and then wrapping it with mental confidence that can only be improved by quantification. So I hope that makes sense to you. And of course, as always, if it doesn't, feel free to send me an email. Even if you have an email, or excuse me, rather a question about something unrelated to this subject, send it to me. I'd love to talk about it. Send that email to contact@coachrob.com. We're getting more and more emails every week, so thank you for that. But we will continue to answer a question here on YouTube every day. So please subscribe, turn on the notifications, and we look forward to seeing you tomorrow.